Good morning, YouTube. I'd like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Veilside, but friends often call me Veil. Today, I'm actually starting a new theme for my YouTube channel, and I'm gonna build this theme into a series of videos and guides. As my first video of covering Wuthering Waves content, I wanted to kick off this theme called How to WuWa Wisely. This series will be solely focused on brand new players just starting the game, and newer players who are rising up in the ranks of Solaris with their union level. In the coming weeks and months, I will be making videos on how to WuWa wisely through my first series of videos that I am calling WuWas Underdogs. But before we get into who I am as a gamer, and how my experience was when I first started playing Wuthering Waves from launch day, which will be covered in my second video after this one, I would like to establish two things with this video. First, in the background of my video, you will see me using, building, and learning a character I have never played before. The pace of the video will be sped up a bit in order to provide some privacy of this footage until my second video where I can dive deeper into what to do and how to do it. But nonetheless, what you see playing on the screen will be relevant and should be an interesting preview for my second video coming out soon. Additionally, I would ask that you'd please forgive me for the basics of this video's limitations. I'm currently in the process of building a VTuber avatar and setting up overlays for streaming more consistently on Twitch. Once my chosen and crafted avatar is finished, though, I will replace the current one on screen with a much more interactive one with better graphical quality. So I'm really looking forward to that. The second purpose of this video, however, is actually to provide the Kuro Games community, whether you are new or old, with some context. Yep, you heard me correctly. I want to provide some perspective on the whole scene of this game's release, international reach, and their overarching track record over this entire year. For new players, this will help you gain understanding of where the WuWa community has started and grown from. For older players, this will help you remember your roots and readjust accordingly, if needed at all, and to press on into year 2 with high hopes, thankfulness, and loyalty towards a business worth investing in, whether that is with your time only or with your money also. Lastly, I think the content of this video will provide a healing effect on some of the recent controversy and drama that YouTube has been having in regards to Wuthering Waves. So, if you've made it this far into the video, the rest of it will be smooth sailing as I seek to reconstruct a summarizing timeline of the first year of Wuthering Waves. Thank you again for your time, attention, and your consideration. I look forward to supporting this community in the future with quality, objectivity, and the proper humility needed in order to show you how to WuWa wisely. To start out then, I would like to share a story with you. This is the story of WuWa's first year, the height of ungratefulness and humility. Like any good story, there's always the perfected, pristine, and pompously proud predecessor. This is the person who has been around for a long time. They've done it all, they've experienced it all, and organized a great deal of innovation in their own time. They even gained lots of power, popularity, and prowess as they pierced through the scene as the poster child of the new standard. Their vast amount of prototypical success, however, has only proven in action the very poison hidden in their own hearts. In selfish greed, they exploit their people and cruelly tax them in ways unimaginable. Likewise, in fear of losing their power over the people and their pristine title, they build up an unsuspecting and corrupted army of soldiers loyal to their cause. As the current reigning government over their peasant-like people, Their ivory tower attitudes and lazy motivations leads them to step on anyone who gets in their way, rather than turning a new leaf. Unwilling to share the spotlight or lose any attention from the majority, they become the arrogant antagonist named Vanguard. Yet, after some time within our story, a new pioneer comes into view. This person has a loving and goofy character. They care about others and want to have an impact in the lives of others for the better. This key character begins to endear hearts through truth and love. They valiantly rescue their friends in the grips of death and destruction. They tenderly heal the hearts of the embittered loners, like a loving sister or brother, reminding them that they are not alone. This pioneer is genuine, authentic, bold, and brave. They have a huge heart, and they are willing to endure any pain at their own expense so they can help their friends and family. They might be new, excited, and learning, but they are also willing to serve, care, sacrifice, and save at any cost. From the beginning, they too have been stepped on, ridiculed, lied about, falsely accused, rejected, and painfully hurt in the heart and soul like you could never imagine. And yet, you would never know the depth of their sorrow and affliction because they are always happy, joyful, loving, and stupidly funny. They might not know what lies ahead in the painful path before them. But one thing is sure, they will find their purpose. They will find their true family, and they will find the right path for the people's greatest good. This is our protagonist named Pathfinder. As we finish our story, I want to ask you 3 questions. You can answer in the comments below if you want, or you can just think about them. So first, let me ask you, which of these 2 characters do you most resonate with? Vanguard or Pathfinder? Secondly, can you recognize any Vanguards or Pathfinders in your own life? Lastly, and most importantly, do your friends and followers see you living out the actions of a Vanguard or of a Pathfinder? Now, back to our story. A friend and a new player to Wuthering Waves asked me a question the other day, and I thought I'd share it with you. He said, Vale, what do you think of the recent anniversary livestream and Kuro's apology? Well, in case you don't know or haven't watched what my friend asked about, I'll quickly summarize. 3 or 4 days ago, Kuro Games released a live stream revealing many of the anniversary rewards that are about to arrive in 3 days after the time of this video. It has now been 1 year since launch day, when I actually first started playing Wuthering Waves. When they first launched the game, the truth is that there were some areas that needed a bit of improvement. These were minor issues like voice actors, words, and exploration aids. But in view of the many other games that have launched, there really wasn't much to overcome. Like a child riding a bike for the first time, guidance and encouragement was needed. There were a couple small falls into the grass and a scraped knee, but as soon as they got rolling, they pushed through each difficulty with speed and consistency. This is to say that despite the minor hiccups at launch, the game was still amazingly fun, filled with quality and hard work from the developers, and unique in so many ways. As the adventure began, the devs reached out for feedback and the players responded. Despite any criticism that might not have been constructive, the developers listened to the players. They listened to their complaints, and Kuro compensated the players through events and through in-mail rewards that were numerically generous. By 1.2, numerous players were enjoying the game and learning it at varying speeds and capacities. However, some on the scene of social media started to complain again because of a particular character they had chosen from their free standard 5-star selector voucher. This character of complaint was named Calcharo, and many people chose him because of his awesome design. He looks really cool. The only issue about him, however, was that many on YouTube were saying he was very difficult to play and that he wasn't worth the effort. So, Kuro again listened and generously provided a solution. Believe it or not, this business called Kuro Games actually gave out a free limited 5-star character in an event. As long as you put in the time and effort to progress through the very easy to play event, the problems for players who could not learn Calcharo were solved. After completing the event and finally attaining Kuro's solution, we came to find out that he actually was an Electro main DPS, who not only looked cool, but had really fast, flashy, and technical looking gameplay. But the best part of it was that he was also very easy to play. His name is Zhang Liao, and to this day, he ranks in the top 3 places of my favorite characters. Players were ecstatic that these developers would be so generous, so caring, and so non-greedy. Once again, Kuro listened and freely gave us everything necessary. Throughout the next 2 months, they decided to speed up the timelines and banner progression before their 1-year anniversary. And when they did, they brought so much quality of life into the game that it was honestly unheard of in video games history, and especially in gacha game history. Though I was finally starting to understand the game by 1.4, it took me a minute because I moved to a new state. I finally realized 2 funny facts about my account. One was I had the wrong gear and the wrong substats on almost every character that I pulled for. And I had over 4,000 tuners and plenty of echo tubes to fix it. So, in terms of resources at my disposal, from simply playing the events and doing the storyline and dailies, Kuro had given us more than enough. The character qualities and player support that they were showing throughout those months were blowing other companies out of the water. Kuro Games was once again proving themselves to be a pathfinder. After the most recent 2 months of major updates and quality of life upgrades, with lots of premium currencies shared and sprinkled all throughout these months after launch, they did the unthinkable. They jumped from 1.4 and released 2.0, bringing in the best voice actors, the coolest of characters, and the most visually stunning areas to explore. These areas are so vast and beautifully vibrant that the only way to truly enjoy it all was through the best way: flight. Yes, no more gliding everywhere in the 1.0 plus areas. Now you could fly. The flight system was so smooth too, very interactive, yet it was limited enough by the pressure, gravity, and force of direction in the game that it was super realistic. How fun and groundbreaking! And guess what else? Yes, you guessed it, they gave it out to every single character and player that reaches the Rinascita area. And even for brand new players, they even gave a caveat. They gave you a choice. If you don't mind forgoing a big part of the storyline and a lot of union level experience and quest rewards, you can actually jump right up to Rinascita yourself and start from there. Though you'll have instant access to flight. Like other Vanguard companies, Kuro Games could have easily locked flight behind a paywall, In greed and laziness, they could have easily locked flight and the new area behind a specific character on the banner, introducing travel power creep into the game and forcing everyone wanting to fly to use their in real life money to buy the only elitist character able to do it all. But here's the thing, folks. Generous, humble, and giving Kuro Games did not. As always, they freely and lavishly gave us what was necessary for our further enjoyment of playing the game. Over these final 2 months, we as the players have experienced an amazing cinema throughout this game. The storyline has been gripping and engaging, illuminating the depths of the human heart, exposing the evils of evil, greedy, and harmful people, while also showing the heights of altruism, joy, kindness, peace, fun, family, and healthy relationships with those who are trustworthy and committed to the good of others like Rover. The events they had given have all been fun, easy to understand, and useful to collect the materials we need for present and future characters with the proper limitations needed so that we don't advance too quickly and get bored and drop the game because we finally did it all. So yes, some limitation can be good, right? It makes sense. In the huge international success and flourishing direction that this business has endeavored in, they have yet again shown us another kindness. Wanting to bless their players even more by throwing a huge celebration party of their first year's anniversary, they have invited us, of all people, to not just celebrate with them, but also to receive half of the presents that they deserve far more than us. You tell me, when was the last time Walmart or your most common grocery store gave out free food because you helped them grow as a company? When was the last time the gas station you used freely gave you a 6-month supply of gas because they were succeeding and wanted to include you as one of their supporters? When was the last time any business gave you a huge portion of their income simply because you supported them? I don't know about you, but that does not happen very often in the United States. Far too many businesses are all wrapped up in themselves, and from pride, greed, and laziness, easily turn into vanguards. Also, I don't know about you, but when was the last time your parents, siblings, family, friends, or loved ones prepared a bunch of gifts for your birthday, and in the heat of all of the suspense, revealed some of the surprise of your gifts in such a fun way that made you even more excited to open the rest of the gifts? This is why Kuro sent out a live stream 3 or 4 days ago revealing some of the rewards we will be receiving, and some of the events and fun things we get to do as we continue to support and play Wuthering Waves. But here's the problem. Here is the huge elephant in the room. At this point in the span of 1 year, 5 to 15% of those speaking for the WuWa community have shifted from constructive criticism to vanguard behavior. Multiple people within this minority on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, Twitch, Discord, and wherever else on social media have spoken out against Kuro Games and Wuthering Waves, and sadly, this small minority of the player base is now taking advantage of the character of Kuro Games. They have taken advantage of the kindness, humility, and generosity of the developers, and like little children screaming out in a very adult-like temper tantrum, these players and non-player WuWa tourists have capitalized on Kuro's reputation to listen to their players, and instead have greedily set up a false expectation of receiving a free 5-star limited character voucher as a part of the anniversary rewards. In these greedy vanguards' hearts, they want a repeat of the 1.2 concession, which in reality was simply a gift voluntarily given by the developers as a solution for those who were unwilling to learn, practice, and put in the time to get good enough with Calcharo. With Calcharo at that time being the only adult main DPS in the standard banner pool, the devs allowed for another free-to-play option with Zhang Liao. Looking back to the minority of these people speaking on YouTube and all social medias, not only have they shown themselves to be vanguards, but they are creating not just false expectations, but they're also fabricating peer pressure towards Kuro in order to force their hand at giving a gift they never intended. And while they're doing this, they are spreading it out as a rumor across all of the social media platforms and the spheres of influence that they can, and it's causing unsuspecting brand new players to believe the rumors and jump on the bandwagon of false expectations, discontentment, and in the end, an unfair and unrealistic perspective of this business known as Kuro Games. We can't forget that they are a business, and how that business has been showing a character in every single action that they take or response that they give. Vanguards who operate out of peer pressure, coercion, and the threat of losing popularity by slander and lies towards any person, group, or business deserve to be rejected and ignored, not supported and repeated. If you, as a paid or free-to-play player of Wuthering Waves, have unsuspectedly jumped onto this Vanguard bandwagon, now is the time to get off and apologize for your own bad attitudes, misbehavior, and misleading of others in the WuWa community. If you don't, it would basically be like the parents of little children waking up on Christmas morning. I mean, you can imagine it. You know what it's like. The kids are excited to open up all their gifts that you have carefully purchased, wrapped, and placed under the Christmas tree late last night for their surprise. In their excitement, they rush into your bedroom, waking you up, jumping all over your bed. As soon as you get up, you go to the kitchen to immediately make their favorite breakfast of pancakes and waffles, eggs and bacon. And as soon as you finish cooking them breakfast, you don't eat, but quickly try to clean up their syrupy mess so they don't track stickiness all over the house. You get them cleaned up and finally grab the camera, wanting to capture this very special moment of the year where they are the happiest. You haven't eaten, you haven't had your coffee, you are still in your pajamas, but it's okay because it's not about you. It's about bringing happiness to others for their best interest. Wrapping paper is flying all over the room, boxes are being shredded and tossed to the side as your kids are finally opening the gifts that you have put so much thought and consideration into. And all of a sudden you hear a shrill of grumbling and dissatisfaction. Your kids break out into tears and anger saying, "Mom, Dad, these gifts aren't good enough. You didn't give me this. You didn't give me that. How could you, Mom and Dad? You don't care about us. We demand gifts that we actually want. We are happy with most of what you've given, but until you give us what we want, everything else is useless, and I'm gonna cry about it." Oh, the height of ungratefulness. Wow. Such a response makes me want to lovingly discipline those kids right now. But here's the puzzling part. Do you know how the developers of Kuro Games responded? They humbled themselves even more and publicly sent out an apology to all of their players throughout the entire international reach that they have as a growing business, and said, "We are sorry you are not happy with the gifts we are about to give you. We wanted to surprise you early with some of them so you could be happy while you wait for the rest. But since we've not satisfied your expectations of us, we will give you even more currency for you to buy the specific gifts that you want with our money." Here, have more of the earnings that we have made from our business. We want you to be happy. Here is 10 gold poles, here is 10 standard poles, here is 10 weapon poles. Just please wait and see what else we have prepared for you. I know after you open all of your gifts, you will remember who we truly are as Pathfinders, leading a group of Pathfinders for your best interest. Paraphrase mine. Wow, that's heart-wrenching stuff right there. If you can stay on the Vanguard bus after that kind of response, then you don't deserve to be a Pathfinder in the first place. And these gifts are all on top of the immense rewards we are going to get in just a few days from now from simply playing the game and doing the events. My guess is that by the end of this anniversary, if we were to tally it all up and count how much Astrite, Premium Poles, Weapon Poles, and Standard Poles that we will have received, we will probably have enough currency to pull 3 or 4 more characters coming out in the future. So, to answer my friend's question of what I thought about Kuro's live stream and apology, I've just been blown away at Kuro's patience and endurance and great attitude throughout all of this, even with a number of setbacks and drama functioning in the background of their success that I haven't even mentioned in this summary. As one last concluding statement, let me ask you one more time. Who do you resonate most with? Vanguards or Pathfinders? Can you recognize any Vanguards or Pathfinders in your life? And lastly, and most importantly, do your friends and followers see you living out the actions, attitudes, and criticisms of a Vanguard or a Pathfinder? I hope you're ready for the anniversary. If you are a Pathfinder like I believe you are, this anniversary is gonna be so worth your time and focus so we can start off year number 2 with this immensely commendable business. I'll catch you in the next one. Grace and peace to you.